Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday I given a overview of what is React and what are what are the features of React we will see today. We discussed about features, purpose of React, why React is used. So, yesterday I given a simple overview on what is React and why we need React. These are two basic things we discussed. So, as you understood yesterday, what is React? It is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. To build interactive user interface, so it is a good JavaScript library. Like that, so many libraries are there. But React is one good library for building effective user interfaces. Why we need React? So React is required for building what kind of applications? Single page applications. I told you one more, single page applications, progressive web applications. We can build a single page progressive web applications by using library like React. And another point we discussed, what is difference between React and Angular, right? React is library, Angular is a framework. So depending on the situation and the requirements of the business and the environment that they need for that business, both are used. So some surprising point you will see is Angular and React both can run in one application. That means both can work in one application because Angular is a framework and framework is a set of libraries and React is a library. So there is possibility of using Angular and React both in an application. That's the reason I have shown you yesterday some projects in Naukri requirements. They ask for Java developer, .NET developer, or any with both Angular and React. So it's not a choice. That means nobody can tell that React is good or Angular is good. React is better than Angular or Angular is better than React. Because in the current generation, all are both are used in different situations. Both are required actually. It's not a choice. So, but for building modern interfaces, user interfaces for application, the best one, lightweight, is what? React. React. And another point I discussed, why we need to choose React and Angular like technologies. Why should we use them? Earlier, they were not there. For that, we discussed about what are the challenges in modern web development. Remember those points? Huh? What are the challenges in modern web development? The first important is unified user experience. We discussed about some points like unified user experience. What is unified user experience? Unified user experience means an application must have same experience across any device. Same functionality, same interface, same experience. You should not have a reason like this is on mobile. That is the reason it is not working. Right? Another important So we learnt about fluid user experience. Fluid user experience. Fluid user experience means user will stay on only one page and can access everything onto that page. So we have loosely coupled and extensible architecture. Loosely coupled extensible means you can easily extend an application without disturbing the application. You can add new features into the application. Another, simplified deployment. That means usually you can easily install and use the applications. Actually, installation and using requires a lengthy process. These days we have a single step. Install, open. Earlier we have to restart the computer. We have to follow several steps in installing. These are all the modern requirements actually. And how to overcome all these requirements? To overcome all these requirements, you need to build what kind of applications. That means what is solution also I told you. What is solution? Solution is better to build single page applications, progressive web application. What is single page application? Single page application allows user to access everything from one page. User will stay on only one page and access everything from that page. That is single page application. Progressive web application. Progressive web application is nothing but it gives an app-like experience in the browser. In the browser, it will have an app-like experience. Right? This is basically the points we discussed yesterday. These all topics we learned yesterday. After understanding these points, I hope you are clear with these topics yesterday what we learned. Now, today, we are going to discuss about another important concept, that is features of React. What are the features of React? We are going to learn about this. That means what are the major reasons for using React? Why developers can show interest in using React for building an application? What is the main reason? Actually, one of the main major features. We will discuss some important technical features. What are the important technical features? First important feature is React. One major advantage here, it is modular. React is modular. That is first important feature. React is a modular library. It is modular. Actually, what is meant by modular? What is the concept of modular? Modular means part by part. Generally, the meaning of the word is part by part. Modular means small parts. Actually, generally what happens is you have two types. One is legacy. Another one is modular. All technologies are legacy earlier. Now recently they are changing themselves into modular. If you are learning Java or .NET or other technologies, they are huge technologies. So up to few years means from past few 2, 3, 4 years, They becoming modular actually. They made modular. Earlier they were legacy type. Now they are becoming modular. From the latest versions of those technologies, they are making modular. What is legacy? What is modular? I will tell a simple point in your way to understand. Suppose I will not go into much concept. Suppose means in simple way as you are understanding. Suppose you are using some CSS. That means a index.css file. In this file, there are suppose generally CSS file means in CSS file we write classes, IDs, and type selectors different we use. Suppose in this we have button classes. So in this we have some container classes. In this we have some alert classes. In this we have like carousel classes. You know carousel, right? Carousels are sliding banners. And so we have different types of badge related classes. Like this, we have some classes. Now, what happens is I'm developing an application. When I'm developing an application, in this, I want to design a button. Now, button related effects are present in which class, which CSS file index. Now, in order to use the effects of button, I have to import this class, import that CSS. Am I right? You know that's no? That means in order to use the effects from a CSS file, you have to import this file. But in that, there are hundreds of classes. And you are using only button. Why you are importing this much lengthy file to just use these classes? Don't you think it is heavy on application, on memory? Reasonable, na? That means why you are including a complete library just to use 2, 3 functions? This is not satisfying. This is what legacy. Several technologies are still legacy. Even today, they are legacy. They don't have a choice. They are now changing themselves. Because when I am watching on a mobile or other smart devices, they have less memory. Then loading a huge application into the device is not good. That means what is the meaning of modular? This modular technique, what is the specialty is, it will load only what is used for that situation. It will not load everything unnecessarily. That means modular approach allows to load only what is being used by the user. That means actually you have two links. So for example, I will tell you here, I kept a button in this, then automatically button classes are imported. The button classes are imported. Others are not imported. That means in this class, in this file, again divisions can be made. And only which class you need that can be loaded. Suppose I put another alert here. Only alert classes will be loaded. Alert and button classes will be loaded because you are using only those two components. Until or unless you don't use that component, that related library is not included. This approach is called as what? Modular. Tell me what is the advantage of modular? Modular advantage is it becomes lightweight and it is faster. That means what React claims in the first point is, it says that I am faster than other technologies. How it become faster? How it is faster? React says I am 10x faster, means 10 times faster than the traditional applications. That is what officially it claims. React claims officially that I am 10x faster than others. That means 10 times faster than others. That means how it is possible? That is possible because of its modular approach. Modular. So what is the concept of modular? A modular, a modular library loads only what is required for the situation. A modular library loads only what is required for the situation. So it makes application lightweight. So it makes application to render fast. Render is nothing but generating output and showing the output, rendering fast. So this is the advantage of being modular. That's a modular approach. That is modular approach. So I hope everyone understood. You will see this practically happening once you start using React practically. Remember, in first 1-2 days, you cannot directly start designing React. First, you need to understand its architecture, functionality, everything. Then you can start building an application, right? So first feature is modular. Second important, it is component based. It is component based. That is another major advantage for React, another important feature. Component base, what is the point about component base? Actually, components you might have learned while learning some concepts like bootstrap and all. So usually we have components. What is component based? I will tell you. For example, suppose, I hope you people know, this is some Amazon. So we have some website like Amazon or Netflix, something like this. Actually, in this Amazon, you see, when I click on this all, then a menu comes like this. Generally, you people know that this sliding banner is present here. This sliding banner is called as carousel. That sliding banner is called carousel. And do you know what this is called as? That means I clicked a button and a window opened from left side and it displayed. Actually, this is a canvas element. In Bootstrap recently they have this canvas, off canvas. They call it as off canvas. That means actually to build like that, it will take time. So that means to build like this, it will take time. because they have to use lot of CSS, lot of JavaScript, lot of HTML to create this. And they want this. They created it, they designed it, and they want this in another application. Then how? I will tell you in your simple way of HTML. That means I will tell you in your simple way of HTML. Suppose, let's take any example. Means in your simple concept of HTML, I will tell you. Actually, suppose I will take a page. This is some HTML page. This is some HTML page. Now, in this HTML page, I am designing a simple form. Now, this form is some register. So your email and a text box. Input type is email and a button is register. Something like this we design. Now, what happens is this is the form we created. That's the form we created. Let's see in the Netflix like page. Suppose we have Netflix. This is some Netflix like page. In this, they have such form. You see your email address and get start. Right now, I scroll down. They have the same form below. That means somewhere bottom, I want it again. Now tell me how to get it one more. I want this one more. You have only one idea, copy paste. Seriously, you will copy paste. That's not a great design. That means you know the basic rule of designing. So basic rule of designing, we have to follow DRY principle, DRY. Don't repeat yourself. That means copy pasting is not a solution. I copied and pasted at 10 places. 10 copies will come. If I want to change, everywhere you have to change. Now, do you know what you can do? Actually, these days, we don't learn this in JavaScript. But now people are not learning in JavaScript, but you can do in JavaScript. What you can do is you can make this container. That means this form. You can make this as a component. Component means through JavaScript, what you can do is you can build it as a component called some login like this. And what you can do is this component you can use anywhere you want. Just like your own element. You have used IMG element. You have used table element. You have used some input element. Do you know like that you can create your own elements? In JavaScript, you can create your own elements like that. When you put that element, automatically design comes. Design, not only design, functionality also comes. That is called component base. Component base is there in JavaScript also, but majority of learners are not aware of that. Because these days what technologies are doing is they are allowing freshers to learn this in advanced concept. Because traditionally JavaScript is not directly used in projects. That is the reason designing components through JavaScript is not recommended way. That's the reason people use these advanced technologies. Do you know what React can do or what Angular can do? It can design this screen as a simple element, like a component, so that you can add it and use it anywhere. So what is the advantage of being a component based? It is very easy to design an application. It is easy for reusing designs. Not only creating designs, reusing designs, updating designs will become easy if it is component based. That means in 10 places they used this login. If they want to modify, they need not to modify in every 10 places, all 10 places. They will just go and change the component. It will affect everywhere. That is the advantage of component based. React, Angular, all this comes with the same concept that we are component based. Component based advantage, I hope you understood now, right? Is it a new concept? Not a new concept. Component based is already there in HTML and JavaScript, but no need to learn them in JavaScript because in advanced technologies, we learn and use them. Because traditionally in projects, nobody is using directly JavaScript components. Some rare projects may be using them, but it is not a new concept. It is already there. But now it is very much in trend. Every technology is component based, which is related to web design, right? So what is advantage of component based? So that means actually a component comprises of markup. A component comprises of markup, styles, and logic. It contains markup, styles, and logic. It enables reusability. It enables reusability of design and functionality. It enables reusability of design and functionality. It makes the design process easy. So it is easy to modify and extend application design. With component based, it is easy to modify and extend the application design. You can easily modify, so we can easily extend the application design. I told you loosely coupled extensible. That means it should be easy to extend. That is possible because of this component base, because of the component base. That is another important. So React is modular, React is component based. I hope you got a clarity on both of them, right? What is component based and what is modular? What is advantage of being modular? It makes application lightweight and faster so that it can easily run on even devices with less bandwidth. What is component based? It enables reusability so that you can reuse the designs without redesigning them. It is easy to extend the designs and easy for design. That is what component based. Another very, very important and major feature is it uses virtual DOM. This is a big concept. That is one of the major feature of this virtual DOM. I hope You already know about DOM. What is a DOM? Generally, what is DOM? In HTML you learn. So DOM is a hierarchy of elements arranged in a page. Document object model. You already learned this DOM in general HTML. When you learned HTML and JavaScript, and you know the concept of DOM. So what is this virtual DOM? What is the concept of virtual DOM? Actually, everyone knows this DOM concept because that is what HTML is about. Now I will show you one point. So for people who are not aware, just a basic, I will give this concept here. Means to understand this, here some important questions are there. Some important questions asked related to this. I will give that in the note also. What are the regular questions that you see related to this concept is actually a web developer usually knows about few things. So generally a web developer knows about three important concepts. That means in interviews, what they ask is, they ask what is DOM, shadow DOM, and virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. These are the basic points. First, I will explain here, then later I will give in the note. This is very common question that every developer should know the answer about. Every web developer should have an answer for this. And almost everyone who knows HTML, he knows DOM. That means how your HTML process, how HTML works, that everybody knows the process. In HTML, you might have learned that. I'm not explaining because from HTML, JavaScript background, if you came, you already know that. Actually, what happens is developer writes markup. This markup is converted into characters, bytes. These bytes are converted into characters. Yeah. So these bytes are converted into characters. Characters are converted into tokens. Tokens are converted into nodes. Nodes are arranged in a hierarchy called DOM. DOM will undergo a process called layout, render that layout, and after layout, the final phase is paint. This is the process you have learned in your HTML because you know how your HTML works. In browser, how it is translated. Browser engines, browser architecture, and HTML parsing is the common thing you started with. That means every HTML learner knows about what is a DOM. JavaScript learner knows how to manipulate the DOM. HTML teaches you presenting DOM, and JavaScript teaches you manipulating DOM, right? So this is the basic hierarchy. You already learned about this, how your JavaScript and HTML works. This is the basic browser architecture. Means I am not repeating this because already you learned this in HTML. I'm just giving a overview for this. Actually, this is the browser architecture. You know how a browser works. Every browser have this architecture, and we learned this, or you already learned this in general HTML. Because when you start with HTML, you should know how your HTML process in a browser. Browser have browser engine, rendering engine, JavaScript interpreters. These are all HTML concept, right? Now another point is, so you know how HTML is translated. Actually, this is the HTML parsing method. When you write HTML markup, the markup is translated into bytes. Bytes are converted to characters. Characters are converted into tokens. Tokens are called as tags. People call them as tags. And these tags are converted into nodes. These nodes are called as elements. Elements. These nodes are arranged in an order, a hierarchical order, a parent-child order. This order is called as DOM. This hierarchy is called DOM. HTML presents all its elements in a DOM hierarchy. Actually, this is the process. Generally, it happens. That means what happens is you will write HTML, it will convert the DOM, and it will undergo render. A layout is created, and the final phase is what? Paint. In the paint phase, automatically it presents everything on the screen. These are all general things usually you start with. When you learned HTML, JavaScript, these topics are already done, right? You know how your HTML and all works, and you know the DOM concept. Actually, this is the DOM hierarchy. So the DOM hierarchy looks like this. This is the complete BOM hierarchy. How the elements are arranged in a browser. In a HTML page, elements are arranged in this hierarchy. This is what you learned in JavaScript also. Right? In JavaScript, you know how to access an element. How to access an element? You can use this DOM hierarchy. You can use by ID, by name, by query selectors. So many processes are there. This is the basic DOM hierarchy. Actually, it is not just DOM. You know that this is called BOM, Browser Object Model. In Browser Object Model, this is DOM. So this entire is Browser Object Model. In this is DOM. Only this part is DOM. The rest of this is BOM, Browser Object Model, right? This is the DOM hierarchy, how the DOM hierarchy works. Now the concept first important here is how we need to manage. So that means this you learned in JavaScript, what is the DOM? Now question is, what is this shadow DOM? This is not new for any HTML JavaScript person. Now, what is this shadow DOM and what is this virtual DOM? This is what important. Shadow DOM is also a very interesting point. Actually, for example, here I am adding input type as what? Email. I am adding input type as email. Okay. Now see here. Suppose I will keep here. Suppose your DOB. Even email also fine. I will give more here. Date of birth and date. Then usually this is the page how it looks like. Now what happens is when I said input type date, then a date calendar came. I click on this, a calendar will be shown. I click on these arrows, it will change the months. I click on a date, it will select the date and show that. Seriously, just input date is doing all this? That means it might have a lot of logic behind it. So what you generally think, input type date. If I show you that, you will say, if I ask you what is it, you will say it is input element. No, it is an input component. It's not an input element. It's a component. Do you know this component is built with a lot of hierarchy inside again? This component is built with a lot of hierarchy. Do you know this box is actually this outer box that you see? That outer box is a div. These inside elements, they are kept by using what? They are kept using a span. You know, there is an icon here, am I right? So that means that is an icon. That is also done by using a span with some icon class. And when user clicks the icon, a pop-up will come. That means actually this is again built with a lot of hierarchy inside. The hierarchy of the component inside, this hierarchy is called as a shadow DOM. That is called shadow DOM. The shadow DOM is used to build a component hierarchy. To build a document hierarchy, we need DOM. Inside a document, every component have a hierarchy. That component hierarchy is called as shadow DOM. If you want to see that, right? See, if you want to see that, let's inspect the page. I'm inspecting the page. In the inspect here, you will find settings. So in the settings, actually you will find a shadow DOM settings generally. This is actually shadow DOM. See, this is shadow DOM settings in browser settings. Okay, I'm not selecting this shadow DOM. Then usually it looks like this: body, in the body form, in that input type date. It shows exactly how you were thinking about it. But what you don't know is that input type date is a component built with a huge hierarchy inside, which is called as shadow DOM. If you want to see it, you have to enable shadow DOM. So go to settings. In the settings, enable this shadow DOM. Scroll, yeah, show shadow DOM and close it now. Again, open the form, and this time you see input type date. It is having a start tag and end tag. But you never learned like that. In HTML, you never used an end tag for input. Input has only one start tag. You never done an end tag for IMG, but they also have end tags. That means now you see here, when I expand input, you see it is a shadow root. When you expand this shadow root, you can see it is built with a lot of hierarchy inside. You see how much is that? This is all just under input type date. This is just under input type date. That's under input type date. This is called shadow DOM. Shadow DOM. So what is DOM and what is shadow DOM? DOM is an hierarchy of elements in page. And shadow DOM is a hierarchy of elements in a component. In a component. Generally, in a component, again, hierarchy will be there. And that generally we call it as shadow DOM. Right. So now next point is, what is this virtual DOM? That means, okay, shadow DOM understood, DOM understood, and what is this shadow DOM? Shadow DOM is nothing but, so generally we have in the browser, the elements are created in a hierarchical order. That means in the browser, elements have an hierarchical order like parent and child. Actually, parent and child is nothing but, for example, this is document, right? Document means it is actually designed with body, am I right? And in this body, you have elements. That means parent and child hierarchy. I'm just showing here. That means in the body, you have some elements arranged in a hierarchical order. That means we have a paragraph. So we have an image like that. Usually what we call this as, we call this as DOM. So this is called as DOM, document object model. Now what happens is whenever we are doing some modifications, that means, for example, we have an application here. That means we are having an application here. We are having an application here. What happens is in this application, we uploaded some image. That means in this application, there is an upload option. Upload image. We have an option. And what happened is for that some interface is there. And whatever image you uploaded, it should be displayed. It should be displayed here. Am I right? It should be updated there. Whatever image you uploaded, it should display in the page. It should be updated there. So application, all these days when you learn JavaScript, jQuery and all these, they directly interact with DOM. So going to that application and updating that image, first it will fire up a functionality that will notify the DOM in browser saying that this image need to be changed, and it will send a new image into that. The browser engine will process the new image and upload that in that place. It will take time. That means when you upload an image to get reflected and display output, it will take time. It will take time. Now what happens is, that is how actually JavaScript, jQuery, all these technologies work. Even Angular also works in a same way. But interesting part here is React uses a virtual DOM. That means what React will do is in the memory, that means every browser have a memory. In the browser memory, what it does is in the browser memory, it keeps a duplicate of that DOM here. In the browser memory, it keeps a duplicate of that DOM here. That means this DOM duplicate will be in the memory. This DOM duplicate, which is in the memory, this is called virtual DOM. What does virtual DOM? Virtual means in physical reality doesn't exist. So that means it will create a copy of that DOM here. Okay, now what happens is, now you are using a React application. You uploaded an image. This image is uploaded. This image is uploaded into here. This will reflect in the virtual DOM. And this virtual DOM immediately shows you a response saying that upload finished, you can see the image. But in the backend, it will update into the original DOM later. In the backend, it will update into the actual DOM later. First, it shows you. In the backend, it updates later. That means it looks like it's very fast, but in the background work is going on. That means for a user who is using a React application, it makes it feel fast. That means it is fast, very fast, but actually it is not finished. In the backend, it is being updated. It will take time. What JavaScript jQuery will do, it will wait and show you after the work is done on actual DOM. And React is not doing that. React is showing the confirmation before it is done. Then what you do is you can see the confirmation. You are satisfied. That means for you, the functionality finished. But in the backend, the functionality is still in process. In process. That is the reason some people are not satisfied with this. Some people are not satisfied with this. That means they are not satisfied. Why you are using virtual DOM? That means if you go on YouTube, you will find out of 100, 50% of experts in software technology are not satisfied with React. They will say this is a nonsense technology. I don't want this. This is time waste. Why you are loading an entire virtual DOM into memory? Don't you think it is heavy on memory? Obviously, it is heavy on memory. That means, see, a technology may be okay and good for your type of requirement. It may not satisfy everybody. That's the reason the point here is many people are not satisfied with React in different various areas. That means, frankly telling, we are also not satisfied with this React. Means people who have the knowledge on technology for several years. They have seen so many technologies. For them, this is not a great concept. For a person who don't know anything previously and just now knows the technologies, for him it looks also very good. But for us, it's like what you are doing, why you are maintaining a complete virtual DOM, temporarily satisfying the user and finally updating later. That's not a great thing for us. Even the major technologies like Angular also not doing it. Right? They are directly manipulating the DOM. They are not manipulating the virtual DOM. And some people say that we are working with virtual DOM. It's a feature. It's okay. In certain occasions, it is great, but not every time. That's the reason many people are not satisfied with these kind of features. That is the reason they are not satisfied in using this in every technology, in every requirement projects. On YouTube, you will find extreme experts in software technology of different technologies. They complain on React. They are genius. They are inventors of technology. They complained on React. They say that I'm not satisfied with this. And he have other suggestions, right? The point here is, yeah, that is his view for his type of requirements. That means he says that if my requirement is like this, then how React will act? That is his problem. That is his complaint. For him, it is not satisfying, but others okay. That means obviously you can, as a general learner, you can think, na, you will ask this question like, sir, loading entire DOM again, a copy of it in memory, it is heavy, na? Obviously, it is heavy for memory. It's not a great concept to identify. It's general thing. But what is the advantage of this? It responds fast. It responds fast. That is one of the major advantages. So I hope you understood virtual DOM. What in React you will learn is how to create this virtual DOM, how to manage this virtual DOM. All these days you worked with actual DOM. Now you are going to work with virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. It means I will tell a real example for this, general real example to make you understand more. Suppose you are using some PhonePe, Paytm, some apps. Through those apps, you have to make a bill payment, right? Bill payment like an electricity bill payment or credit card payment. What you have done is you opened PhonePe or Paytm, made a credit card bill payment. They show the steps that processing your payment processed successfully, payment received, finish. That means finish, but it is not credited in your account. Immediately credited, immediately means at the time it has shown the message, by the time it should credited. Is it? No. Then why they show that message to you? That's wrong. That means your transaction is completed and it takes some time to credit. That means it has to process to bank servers, bank server have to respond, but they satisfied you in the front end, saying that your money is safe with us, it will not go anywhere. Sometimes they show na, right? That means they simply satisfy you. You are also satisfied with that. But to get credited, it will take time. That is how it is working. React is working. That means you are temporarily satisfying the user, but originally it is taking time. Now, if I show the original time, then you will think that it is slow working. You will complain, na? First complaint, it is taking too much time. But others also taking same time. But they are bluffing you by showing a message on screen. They are bluffing you. That is what React is doing. That is what not satisfied to many people. That means anyhow, I will wait until it is finished. That is the reason several technologies don't use virtual DOM. They are all over web. That means in web, there are many technologies and libraries that don't use virtual DOM. And React is such option which handles this, because these days for ERPs, these days for other businesses, this front end confirmation becoming very crucial. That means it becoming very important. That means they say that, okay, front end, if they are satisfied, later back end we will process later. That is the reason you see now all major, like Facebook is using React, Amazon is using React, Instagram is using React, Netflix is using React. These are all built with React on. WhatsApp is using React. These are all built with React.js, official React.js. That means Amazon, Netflix, these are big people, right? Amazon is a huge business and they are using React. So that is the reason. So virtual DOM is a good feature, but it is not satisfying in every situation. That's the reason everybody will not use this as a technology or a library for their application every time. I told you now, they can choose different. There are so many other alternative libraries like Knockout.js, Ember.js, Backbone.js. I showed you yesterday that even you are using this, other technologies are also in use. They are asked in companies. Huh? So I hope you understood the concept of virtual DOM. So here, first option is, so the first important point is DOM is a hierarchy of elements in page. DOM is a hierarchy of elements in page. Shadow DOM is a hierarchy of elements in a component, in page. So virtual DOM is a copy of actual DOM in memory. React updates the UI in virtual DOM. And later commits with actual DOM. So this makes React faster in rendering UI. This makes React faster in rendering user interface. That's what the trick they implement in this. That is virtual DOM. So it is modular, it is component based, and it uses virtual DOM. So in HTML, CSS, you know what is DOM. Now here you are going to see what is the virtual DOM and shadow DOMs. Actually, the creation of shadow DOM, virtual DOM can be done in JavaScript also. JavaScript is very huge. It can do all these things. That is the reason if anybody asks like, can we build single page applications with JavaScript? Of course, you can build single page applications with JavaScript because JavaScript is the only language understandable to your browser. Even you are using Angular, React, they are translated to the browser understandable JavaScript only. Suppose in jQuery, Angular, React, you are using some Ajax. In browser, which object manages Ajax? In browser, which object manages Ajax? In browser, Ajax is actually managed by whom? You know, in browser, Ajax is usually managed by right. So it is usually is managed by XML HTTP request object. This is the object which is used to manage Ajax requests in a browser. And browser can understand only this object. But directly using this object is very complex. That is the reason jQuery teaches you Ajax, React teaches you Ajax, Angular teaches you Ajax in a simple way. But finally, they have to work with this object on. Directly using this object is a lengthy process. That means you can build single page applications by using JavaScript. By using jQuery, JavaScript, you can build single page applications. But lot of DOM manipulations, lot of interactions, lot of coding is required. To reduce that, you use jQuery. Now you are using other technology. You know now already jQuery came with a slogan called write less, do more. That is the official slogan of jQuery. And almost 90% of web is built with jQuery currently. Now they are transforming into other technologies like React, Angular and all. 90% of web is already in jQuery on majority. If you search for a web developer job, in every job requirement, mandatory jQuery is mentioned. Because you cannot work for real-time development as web developer without knowledge of jQuery. That is the primary library used everywhere. Not JavaScript. JavaScript is not used directly. So that is the advantage of having a virtual DOM. I hope you are clear. These 3 points are clear. Modular, component based. Another one, it uses virtual DOM. Next important here is actually it is easy to plug in with any framework or environment. It is easy to plug in with any framework or environment. It is easy to plug in with any framework or environment. That means you can say that it is more compatible. So it is more compatible. It is more compatible. So that means you can say cross-platform. It's a pure cross-platform library. A library need to be cross-platform in order to plug in into any framework or anything. It's very easy. It provides easy plugin into any framework or any run. That is the reason it is becoming popular, because you can easily plug in into Java, .NET, PHP, Python. Every technology uses React. That means it's a easy plugin for that. That means a .NET application uses React for front end. A PHP application uses React for front end. Python application uses React for front end. Right? That means every application can easily plug in this. That is the advantage of React. That is another major feature. That is possible because it is cross-platform. It is cross-platform. That is one major feature. So technically, important features of React are these. Important major features are these. Now the concept here is, remember, when you see online, you will see so many features. Like now, when you Google what are the features of React, you will see one point like React is easy to learn. Right? Seriously, it is a feature. Huh? It is a feature. Do you think it is a feature of a technology? Easy to learn. That is what you will see in every Google search. You search in Google, what are the features of React? You will find a point. It is easy to learn. Seriously, because it is easy to learn, you are using. That means that is how the features are mentioned online. That those we are not going into. I am not going into those points. I'm ignoring them because these are all, that is not technically any reasonable thing. What you are telling, it is easy to learn. That's why you have to learn. Right? That is why you have to use. No, that's not the point. That means such features I am ignoring. I am talking about only the major technical things. Others you will come across later. Because when you Google now, lot of features you will see. Right? All are linked to these 4 points. All features are linked to these 4 points. Right? Easy to learn. It is easy to use. These are not the considerable features at all. Right? It's okay. They are easy to learn. Why people say easy to learn? Because it simplifies the syntaxes. Right? That is the reason. It's fine. But there are some issues also. What are the issues of React? What some basic issues I will tell you. Issues of React. What are the some important issues with React? Means why it may be. So some issues like what is the issue with React is actually it is not built for what you are using. So hence lot of gaps are there. So you need lot of third party integrations. These are the concerns actually. These are the concerns. Just concerns. But for that they have solutions. But they are just concerns. That means if anybody asks like what are the general concerns with React? The concerns with React is not built for what you are using. So a lot of gaps will come. So you need a lot of third-party integrations. And due to that, some issues will be there for developer. Developer concern is faster pace of development. Faster pace of development. Another one is So no good documentations, no good documentation for React. These are all some issues because of faster. These are just concerns from developer side. From developer side, few concerns are there, right? That means this becomes little bit complex also for React. These are the general concerns we are having. You have solution. They are not a problem that affects your application. But the concerns are, first point is, remember, React is not designed for you. Actually, how React and Angular came, I will tell the history of that, just basic point. How Angular and React came. Actual, this, I hope you people know developers. You know this? Have you seen this? Meta. You know Meta, right? You heard about Meta. Actually, this is developersfacebook.com. Now, recently they changed this as Meta. Recently, earlier just it was developersfacebook.com. It is Facebook developers community. Similarly, you have developers google.com. This is developers Google community. This is developers Google community. Do you have any idea what happens here? No. This is Google developers community and Facebook developers community. What they do is they take contributions from developers. That means like you are a software developer, you know, building applications. You build application and give to them. They will use that application. They will promote your application. You see Google Play Store is there. In Google Play Store, so many apps are there. Play Store belongs to Google. So many apps are there. All those apps built by Google? No. Then why they have them inside their library? That means Google takes apps from you. And if they are okay with that app, they promote those apps in their store. So anybody, and they monetize also. If anybody downloading, installing, using, then they pay for that. This is the community. So here what you can do is, you see they say build smarter, fast, zipper. You can build, you can ship your apps here. The Facebook community also same does, right? Now the point is, we are building applications for them. Now the doubt for developer is, which technology I should use? They are saying you build apps and give to us. We will pay you for that. Or we will promote your apps. Then the question is, which technology we have to use? They say that whatever technology you know, you use. You are a Java developer, use Java. You are a PHP developer, use PHP. .NET developer, use .NET. And give to us. We will take care about it. You can build through any technology you know. But people started developing because developers, seniors, experts, they always explore such communities and work with them. They are connected to them actually. Now, almost every senior developer have a community connection and they work on these communities also. They started building apps and they were not satisfied because when they saw Google have their own apps and Facebook have their own apps, they look more better than the apps these people are developing. That means a Java, .NET, PHP people have their own UI interface and they are developing apps. And they see that Google, Facebook apps looks more better than them. Then they asked Google and Facebook what you are using. Right? Then Google and Facebook came with an answer. Google said we are having a framework called Angular. We are using it. Facebook said that we are having a library called React we are using. Then what developers community asked is, okay, then why can't you make it open so that we can also use your React. We can also use your Angular. That means before the world knows about React and Angular, there was React and Angular internally used for almost more than 1 decade, 10 years. People don't know about these technologies, but these were there in the backend. Then what happened in early 2013 and 14? These people made them open. Say that, okay, we are providing this library to you. You also use it to build your apps. That means the library internally used by Google is given to you for building apps. Then will it satisfy everything? It is built for you, them, and you are using. How it will satisfy your requirements? So React is not built for you. They built React for their purpose. And you borrowed from them. And how it will fulfill your requirements? It cannot. Many ways it fails. Once you start using React, you will understand. Then at that time you will ask, sir, my HTML is better than React. It is having everything. In React, I have to borrow even a form I have to borrow from other third party. A validation in form I have to borrow from another third party. That means every concept I have to borrow from here and there because React internally not having everything. But even it is happening, we are satisfied because it is more easier. Because support for having so many third parties opens up a lot of scope. You can build great apps, good apps, because it is open with a lot of integrations. That is not satisfied. That is means these technologies were never designed for you, but you started using them. Then you cannot complain on. That means what is advantage is you can build very good apps with more features by integrating lot of third parties. You will see for every reason you need a third party in React. To connect with backend APIs, you need a third party. To design a good form, you need a third party. You design a good interface, you need another third party. For validations in form, you need a third party. But you are not worried about that because using integration with a lot of third parties opens up with a larger scope and we can build very effective applications. That is also a good thing. And faster pace of development. By the time you finish learning this React, 2-3 more versions may be released. Understood? By the time you finish this React, 2-3 more versions may come. Then what you will do? You have to keep on updating yourself. That means you need to keep on exploring that so fast. Every year, minimum 4-5 versions are released for React. This is too much fast. Why? Because this is very, very fast. That is very fast. That means they slow down recently. Earlier, 6 versions per year. Developer don't have time. That means even not developer. When I am teaching React, I started with React 15. By the time I finish React, then 17 is ready. Now people come and ask, sir, new version came now. What are features? Means continue 1 more month. Right? That means keep on. That means by the time you finish, something new will come. You have to know about it. That's a new feature. That is very fast. That is very risky for developers. And there is no good documentation because this much fast it is developing. Then who will prepare you good documentations? Help. You see, React related help, lot of help is not satisfied. You will not find a solution for a problem immediately, soon. It will take time. You have to search lot of things and understand where is the problem. Because so fast it is developing, who will prepare all these documentations for you? They are not responsible for guiding you in everything. That is the reason this is one risk. But anyhow, that's not a big issue for developers, because developers, anyhow, they have to explore a technology like this one. These are all the concerns of React. I hope you are clear. So we have features of React, another one, issues with React. Next, once we're done with this, now we need to go into another concept. That means now how to use React. So set up environment for React. That means we should start building application for React. What to install, how to set up, what React needs, practical now. That means practically setting up environment for React, what to install and set up, how React can be used in our projects, we will see. That we'll see in next session. Right, in the next session, we can start working on React practical, right? And this batch is not for Java full stack people. This is for general UI full stack people. General UI full stack people and other individual React learners. It is not for Java full stack people. That's the reason we will share an online link only for these people in the next session, right? Because many Java full stack people think that it is for them. It is not for them. So it is for UI full stack with React people and individual React people. This is the batch for them, not for Java full stack people. Okay. And that is the why after filtering them, I will share a link with you. We will have a session on Monday. Right? We will have Monday is no holiday. Right? We will have session on Monday. New year, you don't want to learn. Right? We will have session on Monday. Right? So in Monday session, we will start practically understanding and working on React. Okay. Monday will continue then. Right?